Hi guys! So it's that time of year again. Yes, when people are going gift hunting, Christmas and various other holiday seasons are approaching, and many of us are looking for gifts for our loved ones. So I regularly do a sort of bookish themed Christmas gift guide, or gift guide for whatever occasion you're looking for a gift for the bookish person in your life. And I'm back again this year to do my 2018 bookish gift guide. So without further ado, let's just dive into all of the incredibly exciting books I think would make fabulous gifts, as well as a few things that aren't specifically books but may appeal to book lovers, and perhaps even treat yourself a little bit, you know, why not? So let's jump straight in, shall we? My first suggestion is for those of you who might be on a budget, are only looking to buy something small for somebody, or are looking for stocking fillers. So I would recommend checking out the new Penguin Modern Minis. So these came out earlier this year in 2018. They are similar to the Little Black Classics that Penguin brought out a couple of years ago now, and they are all small compilations of essays or poems or short stories by various different authors who could be considered modern classics, so generally from the 20th century, and they are all £1, so absolutely fantastic price and a really fantastic selection of books. So you could either buy a few of these or one of these if it's just something small you're looking for. And a few of my favourite top recommendations would include Italo Calvino, this is a collection of his short stories; James Baldwin, this is a collection of his essays called Dark Days; George Orwell's Notes on Nationalism; and Martin Luther King's Letter from Birmingham Jail. But I'd also highly recommend Audre Lorde's The Master's Tools Cannot Dismantle the Master's House, which are non-fiction essays, and Stanisław Lem's short story science fiction collection, both of which I've actually lent to somebody, so I can't show you, but you can check out their entire selection online if this is something you're interested in. But on the subject of beautiful collections of books, another series that was released in 2018 that I think would make a gorgeous gift either individually or as a set are the reprinted new editions of the Canongate Myths books. So Canongate picked 6 of their most popular titles in this series, all of which are retellings of myths from different cultures by different authors, as well as one non-fiction book on what myths are. So we've got The History of Myths by Karen Armstrong, which is that one that I'm talking about, and these are stunning. Like I said, there's Karen Armstrong, we then have Philip Pullman's The Good Man Jesus and The Scoundrel Christ, which is obviously based on the Bible, and then the next 4 are all based on classical myths. So we have Margaret Atwood's The Penelopiad, David Grossman's Lion's Honey, Ali Smith's Girl Meets Boy, or Jeanette Winterson's Wait. I have to say my absolute 2 favourite from this selection are The Penelopiad and Wait, but I do love all of these books and I love this series. So I would just suggest, if there's somebody in your life that is at all interested in, say, generally fiction, literary fiction, these are all quite famous authors, myths, legends, retellings, then these are an excellent set of books to check out. You can obviously either buy a selection of them or just pick one for somebody in your life if you know that they're just interested in myth or legends and that kind of area. Then the short history of myth might be perfect if you're not sure if they've read any of the other ones. But I just think these new editions are gorgeous and I had to feature them in this gift guide. And whilst we're on the topic of myth retellings, there is a fiction book I wanted to mention because it is an absolutely stunning book. The US edition is gorgeous too, but I'm particularly thinking of the UK edition, and that is Circe by Madeline Miller. Again, I have lent my copy to somebody, so I'm going to insert some pictures here of what this book looks like, but it is just stunning all over. The outside is gorgeous, the hardback is gorgeous under the dust jacket, and there are some gorgeous illustrated maps on the end papers. Since it is a gift, I always think a pretty book just adds something a little bit extra. This is a gorgeous book inside as well, and it's been incredibly popular since it came out. It's Madeline Miller's first book since her very, very popular The Song of Achilles, and the Circe has been getting lots of praise itself. I myself adored it. It was a 5 out of 5 star read for me, so I think this one may make the perfect gift for somebody in your life that you think might be interested in that kind of thing. And sticking with fiction, another beautiful cover and beautiful book is the English translation of A Winter's Promise by Christelle Dabot. This is Europa's first ever young adult title. Europa published translated fiction, and like I mentioned, this was originally written in French, but they usually tend to steer towards the adult. So it's something special that they picked to translate this book, and that's because it is a fantastic read. Whether you're buying for somebody sort of 10 or above, a teenager, an adult, this book would work for so many different age ranges. It will appeal to people who love His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, as well as authors like Libba Bray, and I just thought this was a gorgeous, fantastical, magical novel, and it's also a stunning cover, which, like I said, I think just makes for extra special unwrapping, you know? So I would highly recommend this as a gift. Again, squeezing into the young adult genre, but gift I actually think would be appropriate for children, young adults or adults, is the first volume in Moonstruck, which is a comic book series, the first collected volume trade paperback of which came out this year. And I wouldn't necessarily jump towards comic books as Christmas gifts unless you know the person you're buying for is a massive comic book fan usually, but this is a comic book that I just think would appeal to so many readers, particularly the LGBTQ plus members of your family or friendship group, because this is a gorgeous, magical story full of amazing representation. The protagonists are a female-female couple, there are non-binary characters in here, and there's also an incredibly diverse range of ethnicities depicted in this comic book. I also just think it's gorgeous and, like I said, appropriate for various different ages. So if you know somebody that likes graphic novels, likes comic books, but also just is looking for more queer representation in their literature, then this I think would make a fantastic gift and would make somebody so happy. Next, for illustrated books, we then have Sea Prayer by Khaled Hosseini. So this is the author of The Kite Runner, which was an incredibly popular book when it came out. But this is something slightly different as it is an illustrated story. So it's illustrated by Dan Williams. And look at these gorgeous sort of watercolour landscapes and scenes. And this book is about a father and a son looking back on their life, about to set off on a ship from Syria to flee as refugees. So it's on an incredibly important topic, but it's done in an incredibly accessible manner. Again, I think it could be enjoyed by people of all different age ranges. And because the author's first book was so popular, I'm sure there's loads of people in your life that would enjoy reading this and looking at the stunning illustrations. But whilst we're on the topic of beautiful illustrated works, I do have some more graphic novel type books which are appropriate again for all ages. So we have Athena, The Story of a Goddess by Imogen and Isabel Greenberg. Isabel Greenberg is one of my favourite graphic novelists, and this book she did in collaboration with her sister, and it is the story of the Greek goddess Athena, depicted with gorgeous illustrations. So again, great for a child but also an adult. I love this book, even as somebody who's doing a PhD in classics. Everything is done in such gorgeous detail and would make a gorgeous gift, as I think any book in this video would, but I had to feature this. And secondly, it is one that again is a children's book but I think could be enjoyed by adults, and that is Marian Frankenstein by Linda Bailey and Julia Sarda. This is the story of Mary Shelley, who was the author of Frankenstein, and this is her journey to write the novel Frankenstein that became incredibly famous and popular. And again, gorgeous imagery. So if you know somebody that loves Frankenstein, loves Mary Shelley, or a child that could just do with being introduced to her, then this is the book to gift them. It is stunning. Not a graphic novel or picture book, but a book with gorgeous illustrations is The Restless Girls by Jessie Britton. This is a new fairy tale. It is a fairy tale set in the modern day, written by Jessie Britton and illustrated by Angela Barrett. Look at that front cover, but there are equally gorgeous illustrations inside, if I can find one for you. Here we go. Here's a little insight into what you get inside. Another little one there depicting some trumpeting jaguars. Absolutely fantastic. Love this book. Absolutely gorgeous. And sort of any child, I think, and potentially just adults that are into fairy tales would love this under the tree. But as we gradually seem to be getting younger, my next book recommendation is a picture book, and any child in your life would be lucky to receive this for a gift, and that is Franklin and Luna Go to the Moon by Jen Campbell, illustrated by Katie Hartnett. This is a sequel to Franklin's Flying Bookshop, which I think I featured in a previous gift guide, but if I haven't, equally check out the first one in this series. This is a gorgeous children's picture book which is just perfect for book lovers, because it centres around two characters who love to read, which are Franklin the dragon and Luna the little girl. And look at those gorgeous, gorgeous pictures. It has a gorgeous rhythmic, irregular rhyming pattern that any child will love to have read to them or read themselves as they get a little bit older. So I think, again, gorgeous book to gift at Christmas. But moving away from the children in your life, I actually have two cookbooks I wanted to mention, because there's a good chance there's somebody in your life who loves to cook, and I still love a physical cookbook. The first one is Cooking on a Bootstrap by Jack Monroe. This book is all about cooking budget recipes, but really interesting, fun, tasty budget recipes. But when I say budget, I mean budget. It gives you an idea of exactly how much each recipe is going to cost per person, and it's not sort of some kind of slightly removed idea of what the average family actually has to spend. Absolutely fantastic. Love Jack Monroe. Would check her out on Twitter if you haven't already. My copy has a few tabs in it from recipes I have marked, but it is full of yummy, yummy things. It has meat recipes, it has vegetarian recipes, it also has vegetarian suggestions to sort of alter some of the meaty recipes. It also has desserts, you know, a massive range. It's actually quite a chunky cookbook with lots of visuals inside it, and I think this one's perfect for so many people, whether they be a student heading off to university, somebody trying to save some money, or just one of your friends or family members. This is such a fantastic gift. But I also want to mention a specifically vegetarian cookbook, and that is the Green Roasting Tin, vegan and vegetarian one dish dinners. I love these kind of cookbooks. These are the kind of cookbooks that just tell you what ingredients to get, to stick them all in the one pan or the one tray, roasting tin in this case, and cook together. So it's not loads of various different complicated stages, it's not intimidating, it's about being easy and reliable and tasty, and like I said, all of these are vegetarian and vegan. Oh, look at those photographs. I need photographs in my cookbooks. I need to see what my recipes look like. Perhaps you know somebody that's already a vegetarian or vegan or is looking to cut down on meat in 2019. This would make a gorgeous, gorgeous gift, and I'm so enjoying the expanded range of vegetarian cookbooks that are coming onto the market. But next I actually have a fun non-fiction book which isn't a cookbook but will hopefully make whoever you gifted to laugh out loud, and that is How to Be Successful Without Hurting Men's Feelings, Non-Threatening Leadership Strategies for Women by Sarah Cooper. The first time I came across this book, when a friend showed it to me, I was in fits of giggles. It's so much sarcastic fun, and any woman or girl in your life would probably love to be gifted this. It is really just taking the absolute mickey at how women quite often have to behave differently, more agreeably, concede more often than men do in the workplace, and it is full of little illustrated comics kind of demonstrating that. For example, we have here, bonus tip, how I say yes, I'd love to. How I say no, sure. And it's just full of stuff like that. Also interesting statistics and just a fantastic like illustrated book full of infographics. It's just gorgeous. I think would make a lot of people laugh. I always like to squeeze something poetical into these gift guides, and this year I've got a gorgeous book for you, again, inside and out, and that is Poems to Live Your Life By, chosen and illustrated by Chris Riddell. So Chris Riddell is not the poet. These are various different poems by various different poets from throughout the years, but Chris Riddell is a gorgeous illustrator who has chosen these poems according to his taste, obviously, but they cover a wide range of topics and given illustrations alongside them. Chris Riddell is a gorgeous, gorgeous illustrator, and this is just a lovely, lovely collection. It includes people from Neil Gaiman to Emily Dickinson, Shakespeare to Leonard Cohen, various different people in here, and it's also just a particularly seasonal looking book. But moving on from specific book recommendations, I do have another few gift suggestions. The first one is to check out the stationery and notebooks available on Holly Dunn Designs website or online shop. So this is one that Holly sent me earlier this year. She is also a booktuber with an absolutely fantastic channel that I love, so check her out there as well. But this is her illustrated cover of The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and she has illustrated so many gorgeous covers for classic books as well as some of the fictional books from the Harry Potter world, so the textbooks that the children would have used at Hogwarts. So if you know somebody into Harry Potter, those are fantastic, and she's turned them into notebooks. There are also various other things available on her site, like tote bags and bookmarks, but obviously I'm showing you a notepad here. This one's just a lovely little lined notebook with French flaps, beautifully made, gorgeous end papers, and just a stunning gift. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of book lovers are also stationery lovers, so why not combine their love of two things into a bookish piece of stationery. But if your bookish friend is anything like me, they might not just love stationery, they may also love board games. So I have these two really nice, compact, gorgeous, fun, literary bookish board games that may be perfect for somebody in your life. I also think that board games are such a nice gift to give, especially at a time when perhaps people are gathering together, because there's something you can also do together. I always loved getting board games for Christmas. So this one is Flummoxed. For awfully intrepid interpreters, the foreign language bluffers game. I actually played this on a board game night at my flat where we had some friends round and we all had so much fun doing this. It's basically a game in which it gives you different obscure words from various different languages, dead ones, current ones, small ones, big ones, fictional ones, and you all have to write your theoretical definition of this word on a bit of paper. Then everyone has to guess which definition they think is correct. So you want to try and write something convincing, but the words are often really strange, so your definitions have to be kind of strange too. And it's so much fun. Similarly, Ex Libris, the book lover's favourite game, the game of first lines and last words, gives you the title, author and summary of a novel, and the people playing have to write down a hypothetical first and last line for this novel. These are so much fun, and again I think great for kind of bookish, wordy people in your life. But if you're looking to get somebody a special gift and aren't sure about picking a specific book for them, however, I did want to mention a specific book subscription service. So this isn't one I've tried myself, but I recently discovered it and think the concept is wonderful. It is the Queer Book Box. This is a subscription service which sends you out a different book containing LGBTQ plus characters and themes every month. So if you know somebody in your life that you think would be interesting in reading more LGBTQ plus literature, particularly perhaps a young person that you think could benefit from this box, then I would check out their website because I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Those are all of my gift suggestions for this year. I'm sure I could have gone on and on, but I had to cut this list down somewhere. If you'd like to check out my previous gift guides, all of which still stand, I would still recommend all the books in those videos as gifts. So I will link those down below for you, but if you can't find anything at all, do feel free to ask me in the comments down below for some suggestions for the people in your life, and I will attempt to give you a recommendation. If not, perhaps other people will help you as well. Let's all bandy together and help each other pick out gifts. But whatever you're celebrating or not celebrating this year, have a wonderful winter season, and I will see you all again soon. Bye guys!